I'm John from Cigar Advisor and Famous Smoke Shop, and it's fan mail and it's happy hour. And actually, it's a question from Rob in Oak Lawn, Illinois, outside of Chicago, but it is about drinking. And he saw the last cigar and bourbon pairing video we did, and he wanted to know, how do you guys come up with these pairings? Do you decide on the cigar first, or do you drink first, or are there some basic rules? And that's a great question, because unless you're exceptionally well versed in how a drink tastes, or how a cigar smokes, it's easy to feel like you're flying blind, right? I mean, master tobacco blenders are good at this, or master distillers, but those skills take years to develop. Being able to, just go ahead and pick out these single tastes. And let's be honest, most of us are never going to be that well trained, but a little bit of practice and knowing where to look will help you. So Rob, what I do first is I try to become familiar with the basic tasting notes of the cigars that I like. Or you could look for certain flavors in our cigar reviews and you'll get a sense of what cigars might work for you. Then I look at the bottle. The tasting notes, they're usually right on the label. So look at this, a red wine. So I look at this, medium bodied, berries. Looks like there's some black licorice here that can get teased out. So then it's a matter of finding things that work together. Salty, that enhances sweet. Sweet balances bitter, and on and on. Now, admittedly, all that stuff, sweet and salty, that's a little foodie nerdy. But if you can find 2 or 3 cigar pairings you find that you love, it is beyond next level enjoyable. So let's get you a shortcut to those 2 or 3 pairings. So let's start with some advice you'll see that says match the body of the drink to the body of the cigar. How does the smoke feel in your mouth? Is it thick and chewy, like a broadleaf Maduro will? Or is it thin and wispy? Well, if it's a full-bodied smoke, then it should get a full-bodied drink. You want to make sure that the taste of the cigar and the taste of the drink, that they don't overpower each other. But just be aware that if you do put 2 super full-bodied things together, as much as it sounds like it'll be good on paper, you run the risk of bowling over your taste buds, and it really ends up being less enjoyable than you thought. So yes, there is an exception to the color matching rule. Then remember, you're pairing for flavor. They should stand up to each other, not cancel each other out. Together, a good cigar and a good drink should reveal each other's nuances and hidden subtleties, enhance different notes and flavors in both the cigar and the drink. It's about making something good better. Also remember that, like everything else about cigars, pairing is subjective. Just because it works for me, that doesn't necessarily mean that its pairing is going to work for you, especially if you don't like that cigar. Now, I remember one thing that I had learned in this process is that woody and spicy Nicaraguan cigars, they tend to go well with American whiskeys and bourbons because sweet balances spicy. That often means bourbon, but it could also mean rum. It could mean añejo tequila. So that's a lot to think about. But if you just want a basic starting point and try and take as much thinking out of the process as possible, let's do this. If it is a mellow-bodied cigar, with a smoke that's thinner on your palate, try a younger red wine. You might even be able to get away with a white wine. You could try blended whiskey. I like mine over ice. You could also do Blanco tequila. If you drink beer, try the golden stuff like lighter lagers and ales. Now, if you're smoking a medium-bodied cigar, semi-dry red wines work great here. Irish whiskey does too. Sweeter bourbons are nice. Some of the more easygoing single malt scotches fall in this category. You could do añejo rums, tequilas. Depending on the profile of the cigar, the flavors that you'll find in there, you could even do a rye whiskey or maybe even a port if it's light enough. If you're a beer guy, try something with a little more weight to it, but not overly bitter, because those will blow out the flavor of the cigar. So there's a lot of room to play around here in the medium-bodied range. But if you're smoking a full-bodied cigar, like we talked about before, and this broadleaf, this big fat broadleaf CAO, this is going to be best served by a stout beer, maybe a big, heavy drinking bourbon, a really peaty single malt. If you're doing a scotch, the more age on it, the better. Cognac tends to fall here. And if you're drinking red wine, try a full, bold Cabernet. That'll work if you like dry wine. So will a thick drinking port if you like it a little bit more on the sweet side. Let me close with one important cigar pairing myth. And that's that only cigars worth pairing are the expensive ones, and they should only get paired with top shelf spirits. That's not at all true. Matter of fact, the 3 cigars that I'm pairing here, all under $8. The only part of it's true is that you should try different things. Be adventurous. try to remember or make a list of what you liked and why you liked it. Try some non-alcoholic pairings too, like coffee or craft sodas, because the more you taste, the more experienced your palate becomes. Then experiment until you find the combinations you enjoy most. If you like this answer, like this video, and be sure to click subscribe and get notified for the next time we post videos here for Cigar Advisor. Thanks for watching.